Hello, everybody. Why, hello, everybody. I just wanted to take a second. Donovan here, Salt of the Streets, obviously. Salt of the Streets Live, Salt of the Streets Podcast. We're out here, and I just wanted to take a second. I was talking to my wife. I was ranting to her, and she kindly told me to shut up and that I should do this instead. So I wanted to address something today. President Biden announced a series of executive orders relating to firearms, and I'm not here to address those. I'm just here to address one specific thing that Joe Biden said today. One of the things that he said was that no amendment is absolute. And I'm not here to pick apart that statement. I don't agree with it necessarily, but I also don't necessarily disagree with it, and that's kind of what I'm going to explain. I heard a lot of people talk about or saw people talk about, it isn't fair to attack Joe Biden for saying this because it's true. This is a living document, which is not the case. But we allow for an amendment process and for adjustments to an amendment process, like additional amendments and amending the amendments and doing these things, prohibition and these things. Of course. Obviously, I don't think anybody would debate that. That is of objective fact. I think what's important is that not simply what he said, but that you follow this statement to its logical end. Obviously, today, and in the preceding parts of this statement, Joe Biden said, nothing that I'm doing here violates the Second Amendment. So, their argument is it's nonsense, essentially, is what he said. And that's kind of what I want to address, right? Because obviously he's talking about the Second Amendment. He's saying no amendment is absolute. He's obviously referencing, at least in this particular moment, the Second Amendment. So, with the Second Amendment in particular, it happens to say, shall not be infringed. And we can debate that, until the cows come home about what that means. And, he said all kinds of things about, people not having military arms and things like that. And Colin and I have spoken extensively in the past. There literally used to be lists of things that you had to have if you were over 14 years old, certain amounts of powder and things like that. And there was a court case long ago that people could have cannons so they could protect their own ships because they were allowed to do whatever they wanted, have private vessels, and obviously they're allowed to defend their own property. So we'll probably get into those things a little bit later. But that's the part that I want to address. As far as the Second Amendment goes, it does happen to say shall not be infringed. And one of the examples that Joe Biden gave was, a fire in a crowded room. You can't yell fire in a crowded room. Of course you can't yell fire in a crowded room. That's not an exception to your right. That is you being held personally responsible for the things that you're saying. If you yell fire in a crowded room and there is no fire and people die, you are held responsible for that. You are responsible for the loss of life. Of course, I can yell fire in a crowded room. I can yell fire in a room if there's a fire. I can yell fire in a crowded room if there isn't a fire. But if someone gets hurt, I will in fact get trouble. I will get in trouble. I will be held responsible. That is how that works. It's not an exception to your right. There aren't limitations on what you can say. That's not how this works. You have the right to free speech. You can say whatever you want. However, with that right comes the corresponding responsibility that you will be held responsible for what you say. We also expect as a public for you to be saying the truth, not to be making shit up, right? These are responsibilities that correspond with your First Amendment right to freedom of speech, with your Second Amendment right to possess firearms, right? To bear arms comes with the expectation and the responsibility to not take innocent lives. That you only use your firearms to defend yourself and not to infringe on other people's rights. And that's the responsibility and the expectation that comes with that. That's not a limitation on your right. You can still own this firearm. You can do whatever you want with it. But if you take the life of an innocent or you choose to use your Second Amendment right to infringe on other people's rights, that's when we have a problem. That's when your rights don't cover you, when you are infringing on other people's rights. The last thing that I want to talk about is something that I'm becoming growingly disturbed with. And that is people forgetting that this document, the Constitution that we have founded our country on, possibly the greatest document to ever exist, almost definitely the greatest country to ever exist. This document does not provide you with your rights. The rights that are enshrined in the Bill of Rights and in the Constitution are, as it says right there, are inherent and inalienable within you. This document does not provide me with my Second Amendment rights. The Second Amendment doesn't provide me with the right to defend myself. The right to defend myself is inherent within me because I am a human being. Everyone on this planet is born with the right to defend themselves. We just happen to live in the only country with a founding document that enshrines that. Not only enshrines it, since it's one of the core things the government cannot infringe on. They cannot take from you. They cannot affect. The Bill of Rights is easier explained as a list of things the government cannot do than a list of things that you can do. This document does not give you your rights. The government does not give you your rights. These rights are inalienable within you because you are a human being. Your right to defend yourself does not start and stop with the government. It starts when you're born and it stops when you are dead. That's it. Hard stop. That's all there is to it. I'm not going to go on about fuck the state with Colin, I will, but I'm not going to go on about fuck the state and don't listen to the government. I'm not going to tell you to disobey laws or disobey objective or executive orders or any of this nonsense. That's not why I'm here. I am here to remind you that, again, these rights are inalienable. The government does not possess the rights to take these things from you. Penny Lane. The government does not possess the ability to limit your rights, to take them away from you, or to tell you what you can and cannot do with them. The rights that are enshrined in our founding document are inalienable within you, and no one can take them from you. So the idea that a different interpretation of the Second Amendment changes your ability to defend yourself in whatever way you want, to me, is fucking laughable. It's a joke. It's exactly correct. Colin says the government doesn't give you your rights. They exist solely to protect them. It's exactly correct. So I'm not going to specifically, because these are executive orders, I'm not going to make a big deal out of this yet. I'm not going to, talk about the world is over and the registration is coming. That's not what I'm here for. We haven't even seen what this is actually going to come into. This was just an announcement today about things that they intend to do, executive orders they intend to pass. So that's why I just wanted to address with you this particular portion of what he said today. That's certainly, no amendment is absolute. Your rights are inalienable. Your rights are unquestionable. Your rights are unwavering. So, again, I don't necessarily disagree, but I also don't necessarily agree with what he had to say. So, I think that's all that I have for you guys today. But I had to say something, inspired by Jordan. So thank you very much. But that's it. So I will just say one more time. The government does not give you your rights. The Constitution doesn't even give you your rights. Your rights are inherent and inalienable within you. No one can take them from you. The government cannot take them from you. The government cannot limit them from you. No one else can take them from you. They are inherent and inalienable within you. You have these rights. Everyone on the planet has these rights because they are human beings, baby. That's it. With that, I want to thank you. Share this. Please, if you watch this, please share this with everybody that you know so they can too be reminded that I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to scream about disobeying the government and now is the time to have mount another insurrection. That's not why I'm here. I need you all to understand and remember what the Constitution says. They are your inalienable rights. No one can take them from you. We all enjoy the same freedoms. We all deserve the same freedoms. Doesn't matter who's president. Doesn't matter who's vice president. No one can take them from you. These are all yours. This is America, baby. I love you. Have a good night.